Hi everyone, it is Soul Guidance Monday. I'm here with a guest, Samantha, today.
Hi.
And I noticed last week on the video I didn't say much about myself. I am a psychic medium teacher. So I've been doing classes for about 7 years now, and I have people come into classes every Sunday and Wednesday, and Samantha is one of them. I've known her for a couple years, and she's going to explain a little bit about how she met me and what happened when we met. I mean, you gave me a call one day, I remember that.
I did. It was a referral through a friend of mine who said, she looked at me in the car when I was getting a ride home and said, "What are you seeking?" She referred me to Lori, so I gave Lori a call, and I was a little skeptical at first. I didn't really know if I believed what you stood for, but I gave it a shot anyways. I was kind of urged to do that, and I called Lori and I said, "Would you be interested in doing a psychic party for me and some of my friends?" And she said, "Sure." And I said, "Okay, let me find out some details and kind of see what the girls' availability is, and I'll get back to you." The second I hung up the phone, I said out loud, "Okay, Grandma, if I do this crazy thing, you better show up." And 3 minutes later, out of nowhere, Lori called me back out of accident. You meant to call the tire shop. And so you called me out of accident. I was like, I knew instantly Grandma Lois had done that and sent you to me. So instantly, instantly, like a hungry child, I was just, "You got to come over here right now tomorrow. I got to see you." I love my grandma so much. When she passed, it was really hard on me, and it created a lot of closure. So Lori came to my home, and I do hair out of my basement, so that was kind of how my grandma lived her life. She did ceramics out of her basement, and I thought I always connected with her the most when I was down there working on people. So I had Lori come down in the basement. And right away, Lori instantly wanted to clear out some spirits that were staying in the house. Well, I was physically injured at the time. I had a broken foot, and I couldn't walk. So I'm sitting in my chair. Lori asked me to close my eyes, and I'm going to clear some energies. So I close my eyes, and I'm kind of looking out of one eye just to see what she's doing. And I close them, and I hear this noise. And if I could have got up and ran away, I would have, because it scared me. But that was the truth. Those spirits were leaving my house, and you know, it was so scary for me was that when I would run downstairs on my treadmill, my dog would sit at the end of the treadmill and stare into the back room where Lori said the spirits were.
Oh, wow.
So that was always something that stuck with me, and that's kind of what sealed the deal on, wow, this is really out there, this really exists, and I'm going to adventure it. I'm going to take this adventure. So that's when Lori became my friend.
It's so funny because I don't even recall any of that, but, you know, that's kind of my gig. I cleanse houses a lot. I probably do about 50 a year, so to me that's nothing new. I'll remember this 44th and Leavenworth. There was a house that someone had some spirits in their coal shaft, and they would lock the coal shaft so no one would ever go down there. And when I went to do a session at their house, I said, "I have to go down there and I need a candle." And so this gal and I went into this coal shaft, and we hear this demonic voice trying to talk to us. I said, "Oh, absolutely not." I looked at her, and her eyes were like flying out of her. I said, "Don't get scared. That's what they want you to do. Let's just cross them over. Once they're over, they can talk to us all they want. But once they're over, they really don't have any time for us." So, you know what I want to talk about this week? We have fell in love with this man that was at what is called the Awesomeness Fest 2000, was it 13 or 14? Oh, 13. And his name is Kamal. And he wrote this book. Now, this is a pretty disturbing picture in the front there, but Love Yourself is the book. Love yourself like your life depends on it. And so that makes sense of the photograph there. But what's so interesting about this book, it's a quick read. What do you say?
55 pages.
Yeah, 55 pages, really quick read, but it's all about loving yourself and saying every day, "I love myself." And a lot of people don't do that. And what I want to talk about, and this was so important this week because I just got off the phone with one of my friends in Tennessee, and we were just talking about this. When you start loving yourself and you say, "I love myself," and you really honor and love yourself for everything you do, what starts happening? What do you see?
Miracle.
Yeah, okay.
Magic.
That's the first thing that happens is miracles. You start having a good energy. You know, I always talk about people's energy on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the highest. A lot of people, just now I got off the phone with the gal, her energy was a 2. She had just been at work, she didn't like her environment, and so we had to quickly raise her vibration. We did that, no problem. But the thing is, if she sat there and said, "I love myself," she doesn't need me. She can continue with their vibration very high and receive miracles a lot. But the other thing that tends to happen is you start seeing the truth everywhere in all areas of your life. In your relationships with your significant other, with your family, with your
my
friends.
relationships with my dogs got better. I was so much more loving towards my dogs instead of like, oh, you're always at my feet. It's like, oh, you love me so much, you always want to be at my feet. Like,
right.
That's
yes,
such a huge shift.
Unconditional love that's always there. And yet there are other times when I find that when you start loving yourself, not everyone is accepting of you loving yourself. So you see a little bit of a resistance with people. And that's what I was looking at recently with a client this morning is she's starting to love herself, but people aren't accepting that she's changing. And what you'll see is that they have always been the same, but you're changing, and so they're not accepting who you are. So it gets a little difficult, but what you tend to do is migrate closer to people that love and accept you for who you are. So that's the most important thing, right?
Yes, you get so eager, you want to surround yourself with them and be with them all the time, and you stand back and you say, what was I thinking? What was I doing?
Right.
Like we talked earlier, it's like waking up from a coma after 10 years and just wondering, what's going on around me? What is all of this?
Yes, absolutely. All right, well, today's card, we're taking from the Gateway Oracle card, this book here by Denise Linn. So today's card is called Coming into Power. What a powerful card. Coming into Power. It says, I step into my power boldly and confidently. And funny, we were just talking about this in class yesterday. That is one of what your heart is trying to tell you. Is that correct?
It is.
Okay, and a lot of people think power means greed, or money, or what else? Money, it means having power over
high
someone.
Position in a company, having employees, or things.
Things.
People think that materialistic things give them power.
Exactly, or like a title. Yes, and that is not what power is at all. This is coming into power. Okay. You have been gathering your inner forces and are coming into your own strength. Assume your power. Accept the vibrant truth that all you need is already within you. It is safe to own your deepest inner gifts. If you have given away your authority to someone or something else, now is your chance to reclaim it. Pulling this card indicates that it is time to stand in your own light. If you are holding on to beliefs that you won't be liked or will be rejected, if you step into your own potential, let them go. The more you shine in your own radiance, the more others can see the glow of their own capability. Your strength can heal others and bring light into the hearts of many. Here's some questions to ask. What has stopped me from expanding my potential in the past? How can I come into my power more fully? In what ways can I support and help others with my own strength?
Interesting.
So those are good questions. So if I were to ask you, what has stopped me from expanding my potential in the past? We talked about this last Wednesday. Coming into your own power. What would it mean if you came into your own power?
You have to accept responsibility.
Accept responsibility. You have to do things that are the right thing when nobody's watching.
Integrity.
Yes, integrity. Value yourself.
Value others.
Value others in everything that you do. How can I come into my power more fully?
Honoring myself.
Yes. So what would that mean by honoring yourself?
Take time every day to thank your guides. Thank yourself for being alive. I've existed for 29 years and I'm still alive and I'm healthy. That's awesome.
Healthy also being eating right.
Eating healthy, yeah.
More fruits and vegetables. Put that stuff in your diet. Really consciously know what goes into your body. In what ways can I support and help others with my own strength? I love this because you just had an incident happen to you a couple weeks ago that you really stood in your power. And by doing that, you helped many other women. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
I do. I think it's been very phenomenal in my power and my growth as a woman. But I was sexually assaulted in a nutrition store in front of people that I had known for many, many, many years. And I felt were my friends. And what I found was when the incident was happening, I was abandoned and I needed them the most. And then when time came for justice to be served, those friends really stepped back and washed their hands of me as a person. And you know what? It made me feel horrible. I wondered, or my first thoughts were, what did I do? What was my fault here? But really what I learned was that was them not loving, them not showing compassion. And what it's done is I stood up and I said, no, you won't treat me like this. No, you won't touch me.
Yes.
No, you will not push me out. And I pursued the police, and 2 weeks later, after giving it all up and putting it out there, 2 weeks later the man was served with a ticket for sexual assault in 3rd degree. So my power in just stepping into that, I put a story out on Facebook and shared it, and that got 100 shares, and I've got numerous emails, text messages, Facebook posts about
Amazing.
how awesome it's been just putting it out there and talking about it, how empowering it's been. We had a dear friend message me today
Just this morning,
saying,
yeah.
thank you so much for talking about this. I was confronted about my personal story, and normally I'd be nervous and clam up and shut down, but she's like, because I saw what you did and you stood up for what was right, I became, it brought light to my situation, is what she said, and that is so powerful and so amazing. And that was just me taking responsibility and stepping up and just understanding that I am a worthy individual that's worthy of love and compassion.
Yes.
and sacred space.
Yes.
And boundaries and sacred sexual power. So
And as Jane says in class, and I love this, it was a great big sifter to sift the people that don't love themselves in life to the people that do love themselves. And what she's found is a really good family right in her backyard. I mean, all of us are right here for you and supporting you
Yes.
and loving you. So it's really important to come into your power. That was a great card for Monday. I hope you all have a great week.
Bye.
If you have any questions or comments, please leave them. And if you'd like a session with me, the website is soul2012.com. Have a great
Have a good week.
Talk to you next Monday.